Now.
Yeah. I mean, the guy is, what, 6'8", 6'9"?
I mean, Brad Stevens just said the other day, Kyrie Irving's the best player on our team.
I guess you have to, because of, based off of what Kyrie has accomplished, I mean, Tatum is only in his second year, right? But we see the potential, the upside for this kid. His length, his ability to shoot the ball, his ability to create defensively. I mean, right now, yeah, I would say he's the number one.
Well, it's time to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's time to talk about it.
Okay.
But it's actually, the Celtics are very interesting for this reason, because I don't know that it's clear, if everyone's healthy, if Kyrie is the best player on their team. And that brings up the issue, which is they have like a bunch of A-minus star players. Like against Milwaukee, against Toronto, against Philly, the other team is going to have the best player in the playoff series. Is going to have the best player in the game. Is that a problem for the Celtics? Is it not? I mean, that depends on who you talk to. But this guy is coming to get into that conversation.
Who is the best player on the floor, Philly-Boston?
Probably Embiid.
Yeah, probably Embiid. But Philly, I mean, that's another conversation.
Well, that's
different.
okay,
I'm just saying there are people who will look at a playoff series and say, well, you always have to give the edge to the guy who's the team is bringing the best guy.
I disagree.
I disagree too, but there are people who say that.
Boy, they crazy. They don't know basketball. No way in hell.
I mean, Giannis almost beat the Celtics by himself. Well, with a lot from Chris Middleton, but Giannis took him to 7 games.
First of all, I can't believe you, of all people, did a "people say" reference on this show. We're going to have a talk during the commercial break. We'll discuss. I do want to get back to the Joel Embiid thing, though, because, look, last night, if you are sitting here and telling me he's the best player on the floor when these two teams play, well, we had Aaron Baines playing him well. We had Al Horford blocking his shot 3 times. We had Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown not afraid of the process. Jaylen just staring him down openly. Jason Tatum talked trash to him and then winked at him.
Another lucky shot.
Look at
off
the wing.
The backboard. It's
look at the wing. Look at the wing.
That was actually good.
There we go.
Yeah.
After the game, listen to Embiid.
This is not a rivalry. I don't know our record against them, but it's pretty bad. They always kick out. So this is not a rivalry. And Gigi mentioned that earlier. So we just got to, work together and figure it out.
All right, so look, Joel did score 23 points, 10 rebounds. Do you guys think, forget who's the best player on the floor, do you think that his trash talk in some ways haunts him a little bit, the way these guys are so hyped to go up against him?
Not at all. I mean, this guy's going to win some, he's going to lose some, and he's going to win a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is arguably one of the best big men in our game. I mean, they just got the better of him last night. It's just what it is. He had no help last night. I'm sorry. Watching that game, he had absolutely
and that is
no
good
help.
defense.
And that was good defense.
And if you're a big man that wants to challenge people at the rim, you're going to get dunked on sometimes.
Yeah,
Gobert gets dunked on.
Don't change. Don't lose the personality.
No, 100%. I mean, watching that game last night made me think, that's a team that might be able to use Jimmy Butler. So coming up, we're going to talk about the Wolves, and Woj is going to join us. Look at that segue. That was professional.
Good segue. It's a solid segue.
Hey, Metro PCS is now Metro by T-Mobile. What? Now you get unlimited high-speed data all month long. I'm switching.
Well, that's smart.
I'm also taking that bridge.
The smarter way to get unlimited. Metro by T-Mobile. That's genius.
Morning. Welcom to Mitsubishi. Interested in a test drive?
Yeah. Can you check out the stereo?
Introducing the 2019 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. If you like sculpted lines, you'll love its dynamic design. In a world of asphalt, gravel, and snow, Super All-Wheel Control will save the day. With a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, the Eclipse Cross is a must-see. Now showing at a dealership near you.
What?
Get up to $3,000 cash back.
Come standard.
I totally understand him. I totally get it. And he's dealing with Glenn, who doesn't know about basketball.
Glenn Taylor.
Great, and probably
I think he wasn't concerned about the time apart.
I know. He knows how to make money, but he don't know anything about basketball.
So TNT also just kicking off. Yesterday didn't have that cuss button that KG likes ready. And there you go. Kevin Garnett's never afraid, Tracy, to say what he thinks.
No, KG's going to speak his mind.
Welcome back to The Jump. We are now joined by our ESPN Senior NBA Insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. I'm so happy you have made the trip out to California. So much happening around the association, but we got to start with what KG is talking about. Jimmy Butler playing tonight for the Timberwolves, which of course is exactly what Tom Thibodeau wanted, and here was him talking after shoot-around.
Are you excited to get the season started? Who, me? Yeah, sure. I love the game of basketball. I just want to compete, show that I can hang with the best of them. I'm playing against some really good friends tonight, but I got my brothers that got the same jersey on that I have on. So we're going to go out there, we're going to compete. I'm going to foul tomorrow really, really hard, at least once, maybe twice. Try not to get thrown out the game, but there'll be a lot of emotion, a lot of hustle. That's what I can guarantee out of our team. I'm not thinking about a thing right now. I have no worries in the world. I'm fortunate to be able to play basketball every single day with these incredible group of guys. I'm seriously just going out there and playing basketball.
I had a chance to chat with Jimmy real briefly this morning, and that last part is 100% true, is that he feels he's going to go on the court. He can control things, right, between the lines of the basketball court. That is a place where he can go and do the things that he most loves to do. So he is being sincere when he says that. Of course, he now still, all of the machinations here, they're still going on, Woj. It's not like he doesn't still want to trade, and Tibbs still doesn't want to trade him, right?
Right. The LA hat, probably a tribute to the Minneapolis Lakers, right? Probably,
yeah, totally.
LA hat
That's totally what that was about.
Perfect. Not the Clippers, there wasn't an LAC on it.
Never.
No, but you said it, Rich. This is exactly what Tom Thibodeau wanted, which was him in the lineup on opening night. This is why the day that Jimmy came back and practiced, Tibbs won. He waited out his owner. He waited out Jimmy, got him back on the court. And that's why, listen, teams who talked to Minnesota after his first practice, literally the day after his first practice, Minnesota was asking for more then than they were.
That's
before
amazing to me.
Which tells you this: Minnesota's not trading them, and so they're asking for packages that they know teams aren't going to agree to. Now, at some point, that will have to end as we get closer to the February trade deadline. If they're going to trade them, I think you'll see a lot of teams circle back who've been involved in this before when they feel like Minnesota's ready to get realistic. But Tom Thibodeau's got what he wants. He's got him on the floor, and he knows there was no trade he could make that would help his team more, despite all the dysfunction, than keeping Jimmy Butler here.
Well, my thing is I'm with Tibbs on this because the caliber player that Jimmy is to go along with these two young bucks that they have, if these guys can put in the work that satisfies Jimmy, because part of me feels like he thinks these guys, is just out for their numbers. They don't, Wiggins doesn't play hard. If these guys can give Jimmy everything that he wants, Minnesota can be a really good team with the three of these guys and what they have around them. So I think everything is really predicated on the two other guys, Cat and Wiggins, to keep this guy happy and keep him there. Because if you look at what they accomplished last year before he got hurt, they had home court advantage.
Three seasons.
This has been my point. This has been one of my points the whole time. Is who is Jimmy going to go play with in Miami that's taking him to a championship? Who is he going to go play with in Brooklyn that's taking him into a championship? Now, the Clippers might be able to get another guy, but right now they don't have that guy. If you're Jimmy Butler, the Warriors aren't going to be around forever. The Rockets aren't going to be around forever. Forget Wiggins. Wiggins is what he is. Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be a top 10 player in the NBA. You don't want to play with that? No, maybe he's just out for his numbers. He obviously needs to get better on defense, but that's a guy I wouldn't mind playing with.
I want to follow up on what Woj said about the practice, though, and the asking price going up, because there seems to be such a division in NBA circles on whether, was what Jimmy did in that practice good and energetic, or was it terrible and disrespectful? I heard you, Zach, on your podcast with Jeff Van Gundy, and Jeff was very down on it. He said that rips apart a team, and that it was disrespectful, and that Jeff Van Gundy had issue in the interview we did with Jimmy. Jimmy said, I know Tibbs. He's back there. He's closed the door to his office. He's sitting there and smiling. It's exactly what he always wanted. You're a player. You have been in practices where someone has come out and been the alpha or been in a potentially divisive situation. What did you think of that hugely contentious practice?
I voted some BS first that it got out about Jimmy leading the third team, beating the first string team. I mean, that's something you don't want to get out.
It got out like this.
You're still in training camp, right?
Right.
There's 18, 19 players. There's coaches. There's trainers. anything that happens in an NBA practice is going to get out. There's too many people in there.
It is, but this such a I don't know what I mean. It's such a sensitive time right now. You know, with Jimmy wanting to get out, this shouldn't get out because it's just going to separate this team. Like now, you're looking at the first string. They're coming in. Jimmy walking in the locker room. They looking at him sideways and mumbling under their breath. And you think you this, you think you that. And we don't know what really happened in that practice, right? I mean, I know it got out that they say he took the third team and beat the first three. We don't know what took place, and if the guys was really playing, you know, they probably was like, we don't care. We don't want this guy in our practice. You know, everything that's been going on in the offseason, we don't even want him in our practice, so we're just going to go through this.
Listen, the veterans loved this. The guys who've been with him in the past, guys who've been in the league longer, they thought this team needed it. Some of them listen, Taj Gibson has played in the past with them. They've been together a long time. Jeff Teague's been around this league a long time. I think a lot of the younger guys, the two guys who were targets and who didn't get along with them last year, and then there's some other younger players who this is new to them. Some of these guys haven't been around Jimmy Butler before. It was a shock to their system.
Well, I mean, look, I think we have our answer. From what you're telling me sitting here, I think we have our answer on whether Tom Thibodeau liked it, because if you're telling me he raised his asking price for Jimmy Butler after that practice, kind of tells us what we need to know about what he thought about it. I want to move on to the Nuggets a little bit because a new deal for Coach Mike Malone in Denver made news just before our show broke. What can you tell us, Woj, about why they did this?
Yeah, Rachel, 2 years on top of this year. Mike Malone was heading into the last year of his deal. I talked to Tim Connolly, their president in Denver today, and he said, listen, this has been a summer of continuity for us. They re-signed Jokic, they re-signed Will Barton, and they expect ownership, management, their coaching staff. This is a playoff team now. This is a team, if healthy, should be challenging for 50 wins.
Absolutely.
And that's the goal, but they took off that cloud that hangs off of a coach when he's headed into the last year of his deal.
Top 5 overall? Top 5 in the West?
Top 5, yeah.
Or is that the same question? Sorry.
This is talented.
That's just a joke. It's not the same question. What do you think of this extension?
I'm also high on the Nuggets, and I think what they.
This Sunday, I'm Frederica Whitfield. It is the final push to the midterms, and we are just now 16 days away, and the stakes are high. With control of Congress on the line, we have new polling just did this.
Show Jets fans that you are the future of the franchise. Right?
Yeah, well said.
Right. That's a wrap for the week on NFL Live. See you next week. The Jump is next.
So Royce Young brought us this video of Russell Westbrook going through a workout just moments ago. He also reports the Thunder are still waiting to see if he can play tonight. Byron, this is way ahead of schedule. Would you let him?
Nope. No, I mean, listen, it's the second game of the season. No, you got 80 more games left. Russell, you know, he's a great player. We all know that. We know how much he wants to compete. We know how much he wants to be out there on the floor, but no.
I shouldn't say way ahead of schedule. It's not like a month ahead of schedule, but it's a week or two ahead of schedule.
It's a little ahead of schedule. The schedule was always like a little unclear with this one. He said he wanted to come back for the opener. Who knows?
Right.
Nope.
Would you let him do it?
I always err on the side of caution.
Err on the side of coach. There you go.
Nope.
Welcome to Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols. Our insider Zach Lowe is back, and we have 3-time champ, former coach of the year Byron Scott back as well. It's Friday. We're going to have a lot of fun, and coming up, we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler's home opener debut and what's going to happen in that building tonight. But first, LeBron is going to be a huge draw in a Laker uniform for a very, very long time because, number one, it's LeBron, and number two, it's the Lakers. But even given that, right now, we are in the middle of a particular crazy carnival of attention because it's all still so new, right? And every night seems to bring another first. Last night was, of course, LeBron's first official regular season game as a Laker, which means last night was the beginning of all of us getting to find out whether this is all actually going to work, whether LeBron's decision to come here without another star was really the right long-term play, whether the eyebrow-raising group management has assembled around him is really capable of competing in the West, whether LeBron, inching closer to age 34, can withstand the load he is insisting he still intends to put on his body. Starting last night, every minute out on the floor all becomes part of the record. It all gets added into the equation. So yeah, that feels big. And then, of course, there were the more small firsts we had last night. Some of them very fun if you're a Laker fan.
Do you like dunks? How about this crazy steam train of a tomahawk that LeBron bludgeoned into the net to score his first Lakers points? Take another look in trivia time. Yep, split screen that. That's the first dunk LeBron ever put down as a Cleveland Cavalier, so symmetry. After LeBron did that last night, Damian Lillard followed up with a pretty sick dunk of his own. Damian Lillard, still good at basketball.